Hello students, I welcoming to all today's session. In today's class, we are going to discuss about solution lesson. In this lesson, we describe the formation of different types of solution, the concentration of solution, Henry's law and Raoult's law, ideal and non-ideal, then colligative properties of the solution with the molar mass of the solute and abnormal colligative property. Okay, let us start now. First, the types of solution. You know the meaning of the solution. You already studied in 10th standard itself the solution lesson. So, you know the meaning of the solution. So, first, the types of solution. We have two types of solution. So, first one is homogeneous, then second one is heterogeneous. The homogeneous means the large amount of solvent, the compound that present large amount in homogeneous mixture is called as a solvent and others are solute. For example, when a small amount of NaCl is dissolved in water, homogeneous solution is obtained. In this solution, Na plus and Cl minus ion are uniformly distributed in water. That means homo means same. So, NaCl is dissolved in water. It has a uniformly distributed in water. Here the water is a solvent. The amount of water is more compared to the amount of NaCl present in this solution. So, here water is a solvent and NaCl is a solute. Okay. The commonly used solutions are the solution in which solid solute is dissolved in a liquid solvent. So, solution means it contains solute and solvent. Okay. So, the commonly used solution, the solution in which solid solute is dissolved in liquid solvent, solute or solvent can any one of the commonly used solution are the solution in which solid solute dissolved in liquid solvent. The solute or solvent can be any of the three states of matter. It may be solid, liquid, gas. If the water is used as a solvent, the resultant solution is called as a aqueous solution because the water is contained a large amount. So, it is called as a aqueous solution. If a solvent, benzene, CCl4 and ether etc. other than water is used, the resultant solution is called as a non-aqueous solution. So, if it use water is a solvent, is called as an aqueous solution. If instead of we can use benzene, CCl4, ether, it is called as a non-aqueous solution. Okay. The next one is the expression concentration of solution. The next topic is expression concentration of solution. So, in our life we have come across many solutions, the varying strength or concentration such as mouthwash, antiseptic lotion, then household disinfectant etc. So, have you ever noticed the concentration of ingredient present in this solution? For example, chlorohexidine mouthwash solution contain 0.2% W by V chlorohexidine gluconate. The concentration of the commercial available hydrogen peroxide 3% water. Similarly, other terms such as ppm, TDS of water, molar, normal, laboratory reagent are used to express the concentration of a solution. So, the concentration of solution, the amount of solute present given quantity of a solvent. That the different ways of expressing the concentration of solutions. So, then different ways, the molarity, normality, mass percentage etc. Okay. So, the next topic, we move on to the next topic because this is a deleted portion. Okay. The next topic is standard solution. So, the standard solution and working standard. So, first we know what is standard solution. Okay. So, standard solution means for example, we can prepare idli batter. Okay va. ஸோ நம்ம ஒரு இட்லி மாவு வீட்டில் எப்படி நமக்கு வந்து ஸ்டோர் பண்ணி வச்சுக்கிறாங்க 1 வீக் அது மாதிரி நம்ம ஸ்டோர் பண்ணி வச்சுருக்கோம் இல்லையா. ஸோ அதை வந்து என்ன பண்ணுவாக்கா, வி டேக் ஸ்மால் அமௌண்ட் அண்ட் வி கேன் டைல்யூட் அண்ட் வி கேன் டு மேக் இட்லி ஆர் தோசா. ஓகே. ஸோ த வி கேன் ஹியூஜ் அமௌண்ட் வி கேன் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணுறோம் இல்லையா, தட் இஸ் கால்ட் எஸ் ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் சொல்யூஷன். in if taken the small amount for the standard அதுலேருந்து கொஞ்சமாக எடுக்கிறோம் இல்லையா, that is called as a working standard அப்படின்றத சொல்கிறாங்க. ஓகே, so what is mean by standard solution? I repeat once again, the standard solution or a stock solution. Standard solution or is called as a another name stock solution, whose concentration is accurately known. That concentration we know accurately. Okay, a standard solution can be prepared by dissolving the required amount of the solute. So we can prepare the standard solution, we know that dissolving the required amount of the solute in a suitable amount of solvent. Okay, so it is done the transferring known amount of solute to transferred standard flask of definite volume. Then second one, we can add small amount of water is added to the flask and shaken well to dissolve the solute. So how to prepare? In first way, transferring known amount of the solute to a standard flask of a definite volume. Then small amount of water is added the flask, shaken well, dissolve the solute. Then third one, the water is added to the flask to bring the solution level to the mark, indicate the top end of the flask. Then fourth one, the flask is a stopper and shaken well to make the concentrate in uniform form. So this is a standard measuring flask. This is a standard measuring down flutter flask. So if you add the solute in this standard measuring flask, then we can add the solvent up to this mark. First we add the solvent, the small, then dissolve in the solute and solve it, then that's shaken well, then add the large amount of solvent up to this mark. Then the flask, the stopper is put on the flask stopper, the shaken well the water and the solute and solvent are mixed well. Okay, the next one, at the time of the experiment, the solution with record concentration prepared by dilute the stock solutions. So the diluting the stock solution. So if you want, if we need the small amount in a stock solution, so we can take it small amount of stock solution, we can dilute it, then we can, it is called as a working standard. Okay, so known volume of the stock solution transfer into new container. So known volume of the stock solution transfer into the new container are brought to the calculated volume. So the necessary volume of the stock solution and final volume can calculate the following expression. So CSVS. CS means standard concentration, VS means volume, that is VS is a volume concentrations. Okay, the next is CW, that is a working concentration, then volume working. Okay, so the CS and VS the concentration of volume of the stock solution, and CW and VW the concentration volume of the working standard. Okay, the next, what are the advantage using of the standard solution? The first advantage, the error in the weighing of the solute can be minimized because we can prepare dilute solution for a stock solution. Okay, so அப்போ stock solution வந்து we can weigh the weight in accurately. So அப்போ weight வந்து எப்படி இருக்குன்னா கரெக்டாக இருக்கும் standard solution. So we can take the small amount for the stock solution போது we can avoid the error. So the error in weighing the solute can be minimized using concentrated stock solution. There are a large quantity of solute. Okay, this is the first one advantage. The second one, we can prepare working standard of the different concentration by diluting the stock solution. So ஒரு stock solution major வச்சு we can prepare various amount of working standard solution. Okay, so we can prepare the working standard of different concentration by diluting the stock solution, which is a more efficient. Okay, since the consistency is maintained, that concentration is maintained. Okay, then third advantage, some of the concentrated solutions are more stable and less likely to support microbial growth that working standard used for the experiment. So these are the advantage of using standard solution. The next topic is solubility of the solutes. So the solubility of the solute, அதாவது that means ஒரு solute-உடைய solubility அப்படின்றது தான் பார்க்க போகிறோம். The solubility of the solute is a maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved in specific amount of solvent at a specified temperature. So maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved in specific amount of solvent at a specified temperature. When maximum amount of solute is dissolved in a solvent, if more addition of solute will result the precipitation. So maximum amount of solute வந்து ஒரு solventல add பண்ணும்போது the more addition of solute, if we add more amount of the solute இன்னும்போது that solution will turn precipitate. Okay, at a given temperature and pressure. Such solution is called as a saturated solution. The solubility of a substance at given temperature is defined. This is a 2-mark question. The solubility of a substance at a given temperature is defined. The amount of solute that can be dissolved in 100 gram of solvent in a given temperature to form a saturated solution. So various factors influencing the solubility. So it depends, purely depends on the nature of the solute and the solvent. Okay, so it also depends on the temperature and pressure of the solution. The first one, the nature of the solute and solvent. That means the நம்ம சொல்லும்போது it is a தன்மைன்னு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா அது. So the nature of the solute and solvent. Sodium chloride, the formula of sodium chloride NaCl is an ionic compound because Na containing plus and Cl containing minus, it's ionic compound, you know very well. So sodium chloride ionic compound dissolved rarely in a polar solvent such as water, but does not dissolve in non-polar organic solvents such as benzene or toluene. That means sodium chloride dissolve in water, not in a organic solvent such as benzene or toluene. Many organic compounds dissolve readily in organic solvent, do not dissolve in water. So some of the organic compounds, so mostly many organic compounds dissolve only for the organic solvent, not in a water. Okay, so different gases dissolve in water to different extent. Different gases dissolve in water to different extent. For example, ammonia is a more soluble than oxygen in water. So ammonia is a more soluble in water than oxygen. The next one, effect of temperature. Here we can take the solute is a solid form, then solvent is a liquid form. Okay, so generally the solubility of solid is liquid, the solvent increase in temperature. That means the temperature increase ஆகும்போது உள்ள அந்த மாலிகூல்ஸில் இருக்க அந்த கைனடிக் எனர்ஜி எல்லாமே என்ன ஆகும்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஃபாஸ்ட்டாக it can be moving fast. So the average kinetic energy of the molecule, the solute and solvent increases. So the increase the kinetic energy, the solvent molecules to break the intermolecular attractive force. அப்போ அங்கே இருக்கிற அந்த intermolecular force attractive force break ஆகும்போது they keep the solid molecule together, so the solubility will be increases. Okay, when solid is added to the solid is added to a solvent, so the solid is added to a solvent, it begins to dissolve. That is, the solute leave from the solid state. Solute வந்து எந்த ஸ்டேட் லீவ் ஆகுதுனாக்கா solid state, it is a dissolution. After some time, some of the dissolved solute return back to the solid state. Solids dissolves our solute again it back to the solid state, that is a recrystallization. We call as a recrystallization. If there is a excess in solid present, the rate of the both the process becomes equal at a particular stage. So at this stage, equilibrium is established between the solid molecules and dissolved solid molecules and dissolved solid molecules. So the equilibrium will exist between the two. What are they? Solid molecule and dissolved solid molecule. So the solid, that is a solid in equilibrium form to form solute dissolve. So in this form it is a endothermic, and in this form it is a exothermic. Okay, the next one. So according to the Le-Chatelet principle, you know the what is the meaning of the Le-Chatelet principle? You already studied in physical and chemical equilibrium lesson. Okay, so according to the Le-Chatelet principle, if the dissolution, that is the solid leaves from the solid state, okay, the dissolution process is a endothermic. The endothermic, and the endothermic means what is means endothermic? Absorption of heat. So absorption of heat means the temperature is increases, will shift the equilibrium towards the right. Okay, so the solubility increases. For the exothermic, this one is a endothermic. Okay, then solute to the dissolved solute to solid is a exothermic. Okay, so the exothermic reaction, the increase in temperature, but the exo means evolution of heat, decrease the solubility. So the increase in the temperature in endothermic process, the solubility, absorption of heat, the solubility is increases, the evolution of heat, the solubility is decreases. So the solubility of the ammonium nitrate, calcium chloride, ferric sulfate, nanohydrate, sodium chloride is better in very different temperature following the graph. So here the plotted the solubility versus temperature, so we get a different graphs. So here comes NaCl. sodium chloride, the Na plus Cl minus, so it dissolved in water, so it completely dissolved in water, so it is a linear graph. Okay, then here the ceric sulfate, so temperature increase ஆக graph எப்படி இருக்குன்றதை நமக்கு இங்கே listed கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. ஓகேவா? So the following conclusions are drawn about the graph. First one, the solubility. So look at that graph. The solubility, the solubility of the sodium chloride does not vary appreciable. The maximum solubility is achieved at a normal temperature. Okay, so there is in fact there is only 10% increase of solubility between 0 to 10 degrees Celsius. Only the 10% will be increases. Then second one, the dissolution of the ammonium nitrate. Ammonium nitrate means, this one is ammonium nitrate. So the ammonium nitrate, the dissolution process of ammonium is endothermic. Endothermic means the solubility increases, the temperature also increases. Okay, this one. Okay, the next one, ceric sulfate. So ceric sulfate, the dissolution is exothermic. Exothermic means solubility decreases with the increase in temperature. Okay, even though the dissolution of the calcium chloride is exothermic, then this one, calcium chloride means this one. Okay, so even though dissolution of the calcium chloride is exothermic, exo means the solubility increases but moderately increase in temperature. The entropy factor also significant role the position of the equilibrium. Okay, the next one, gaseous solute in liquid solvent. In previous one, solid solute in liquid solvent. Now gaseous, the solute is a gaseous form and liquid solvent. Okay, in gaseous solute in liquid solvent, the solubility decrease with increase in temperature. So temperature will be increases, the solubility nature is decreases. When gaseous solute dissolve in a liquid solvent, gaseous solute, so this is a diagram. When gaseous solute dissolve in a liquid solvent, if the molecule interact with the solid molecules with a weak intramolecular force. So when the temperature increases, the average kinetic energy of the molecule present in the solution, it also increases. So the increase in kinetic energy break the weak intramolecular force between the gaseous solute and the liquid solvent. So which result the release of dissolved gas molecule to the gaseous state. So the dissolution of the most of the gases in liquid solvent is exothermic. So the increase in temperature decrease the dissolution of the gaseous molecules. Okay, so this is a diagram. This is a liquid form and this one is a gas. Okay, so then more molecules are soluble at a high pressure. So இதுக்கு மேலே அந்த மாதிரி ப்ரெஷர்ஸ் மாதிரி இருக்குது. ஸோ more gas molecules are soluble at a high pressure. More gas molecules are soluble at a high pressures. Okay, the next one, effect of temperature. So the effect of temperature means the change in pressure does not have any significant effect in the solubility of the solid and the liquid. Okay, so the solubility of gas generally increase in a pressure. The considered saturated solution of the gaseous solute dissolved in a liquid solvent in a closed container. So in such system, the following equilibrium will be exceeded. So gas in a gaseous state, it turns into solutions form. According to the Le Chatelier principle, the increase in pressure will shift the equilibrium the direction which will reduce the pressure. Therefore, more number of gaseous molecules dissolved in the solvent and the solubility will be increases. So this is a effect of pressure. Okay, the next one, the next topic is a Henry's law. It's a very important question. So William Henry investigate the relationship between pressure and solubility of a gaseous solute in a particular solvent. So the relationship between pressure and solubility, it's investigated by the William Henry. So according to him, the partial pressure of gas in vapor phase. So the partial pressure of gas in vapor phase, the vapor pressure of the solute is directly proportional to the mole fraction. Directly proportional to the mole fraction. Mole fraction represents X of the gaseous solute in the solutions at a low concentration. This statement is known as a Henry's law. So what we say, the partial pressure of the gas in vapor phase directly proportional to the mole fraction of the gaseous solute in the solution. So Henry's law can be expressed. P solute is directly proportional to the X. X is a mole fraction. So the P solute is a KHX. So K is a equilibrium, that is, you know, the proportionality constant. So where P solute represents the partial pressure of the gas in vapor state, which is commonly called as a vapor pressure. So partial pressure of the gas in vapor state is called as a vapor pressure. Then X solute in solution represent mole fraction of the solute in the solution. Okay. So what is K, what is X, and what is P. Okay, so KH is a empirical constant with the dimension of pressure. So the value of KH depends on the nature of the gaseous solute and solvent. So the above equation we get the straight line, the form of the y, that is y equal to mx. So y equal to mx means the P KHX. So it is called as a y equal to mx. So y equal to mx, we can plot a graph, we get a straight line. Okay. So we get a straight line. The slope of the straight line give the value of the KH. Okay. So here the mole fraction versus partial pressure of the HCl in the cyclohexane molecule. Okay. Some of the activities are there. Then limitation of the Henry's law. The Henry's law is applicable at only the moderate temperature pressure only. Okay. Then second limitation, only the less soluble gases obey for the Henry's law. So then it is a very important limitation. Then third one, the gases reacting with the solvent do not obey Henry's law. So for example, what type of ammonia and ammonia or HCl with reacts with water and does not obey this law. So the ammonium plus water, we get a ammonium NH4 plus and OH minus. So the gases obeying Henry's law should not associate or dissociate while dissolving in the solvent. So these are the limitation of Henry's law.